Hi, it's Anthony at Land Title. Just came to bring you an update for Superior, Colorado, for the detached housing market for July. And lots of interesting things going on in Superior, but the real issue that Superior is having, there's just not enough inventory in the market. 7 active homes at the end of July was just, it's crazy, right? So we're seeing a big transition in the Superior market in a lot of ways. One of those being that the average sales price for detached housing is over $1 million. Right? This number is, well, it's very high compared to most of the other markets around here. And year over year, it shows that that's a 43% increase. So they didn't go up in price 43%. The product type that's selling and the stuff that's being built is much more expensive than what was existing in Superior before. So with that kind of transition in the marketplace, there's really this dynamic shift, and it's kind of hard to tell what's happening in a market like this, right? So yes, it's getting a lot of realized appreciation, but when you're only building $1 million product, your more average sales price tends to trend that way. And a lot of times in Superior, new builds are a lot of what makes up this number of inventory. But since nothing's sitting on the market, it's very convoluted and complicated, but it is doing remarkably well. It just doesn't have enough homes, right? And all they've done in Superior is build for years. So with that being said, this is going to be a quickly appreciating market for probably some time to come. I mean, you can really see outside of 2019, we really have not had any inventory in Superior, even though it is pretty small relative to the number of sales. But when you see the actives being less than the numbers of under contracts and solds, that's a sign of a very strong seller's market. So if we go over here into average price point, you can really see what's happened over the last couple of years. And with those low inventory levels, it does drive the appreciation way, way higher, really fast. Not 43%. You didn't get $300,000 extra on your house that you didn't know you had. But with the composition of sales, the average is trending that way, and the market is trending that way too. So those lower homes are also appreciating very rapidly, but probably somewhere in the 10 to 20% range, not 43% like we're showing. That's a lot to do with not a lot in the higher end of the market was selling at this time in 2020 because of the shutdown and lending problems and regulations that were happening. So that is a dynamic shift, to say the least. But it is a good sign that we're over 1 million still. I mean, this is definitely a very quickly appreciated market. So if you haven't sold and you're thinking about it, this might be a really good time to do that. With the inventory levels still record low, it's going to be tough to be a buyer in this marketplace, but it's definitely worth shopping now before we might see numbers like what we saw in October for sold units, and there's even less on the market. So you're going to see this bounce around quite a bit in a market like this because we're just at the mercy of what comes active. So every time product comes active, it sells the next month, and we're really seeing that vicious cycle. So bidding wars are probably still taking place in Superior quite a bit. We're down almost 20% in sales from this time last year, and it's just due to not enough homes on the market. So if you would like to sell, it's an awesome time to do that. Buyers beware, right? We're at 0.62 months of inventory, which really means we have like 2 weeks on the market. So the houses are turning over really, really fast. And they have been for a long time, right? We've been under a month of inventory since May of 2020, which was during the shutdown. So very, very popular market. Things are moving quick. If you're a buyer, this is actually an opportunity time for you because there might be a little bit on the market here and you might not have to compete as much as you might have back in April and May. So kind of double-edged sword here, but it is one time you might be able to go out and do that. So definitely stick with it. It's a market that will not be depreciating anytime soon, for lack of a better word. And you can really see just how strong that buyer demand is here in this market. So this is a lot of bouncing around because there's not a lot of data points, right? There's only a few sales every month. We're talking less than 15 sales most of the time. And so this is going to bounce around quite a bit depending on if they're cash or if they're conventional loans or whatever is being negotiated. But what you can see is that this is way below where we've been in years past. So we have this just incredible buyer demand in the Superior market. So you're still competing with that, unfortunately. And if you're a seller, still a lot of opportunity to capitalize on that. If you have any other questions on the market here in Superior or any other place in the Front Range of Colorado, give me a call. This is Anthony at Land Title. Always happy to help. Have a good one.